it is a steady process, taking hold not over weeks or months, but years, decades, and entire lives. The sport engraves itself into the body, penetrating into the soul. Excruciatingly, completely, aviation becomes them. This is a story about a group of men whose very existence is defined by what they do above the ground. A peculiar reality that began as a curiosity and became irreversibly a compulsion. These pilots will come together from all over the world to form Paradigm Aerobatic, the first team of paramotor pilots to ever perform an acro show in the United States. And this isn't just any air show, it is Airventure 2016, the largest of its kind on the planet. Beginning on July 27th, hundreds of thousands of spectators in Oshkosh, Wisconsin will watch these experts take to the sky in what will be the most exciting demonstration of this sport in history.
I think the coolest thing about the paramotor is it's so immersive. Like, you literally just feel like a bird, and like nice conditions when it's calm out. My favorite thing is just to buzz down low through the fields and around trees and everything.
You're not in an enclosed cockpit. You're not just looking through a small little window. You have a full 360 view. It's just incredible.
You know, our first day, we came out and we started that first cross-country flight just for fun. And we took off, a couple of us took off here at the farmhouse and flew back over to the Martins farmhouse. And that flight was just incredible.
Everyone else to wake the hell up. I'm excited. Oh yeah.
Ya ves, yo fui para allá antes ayer. ¿Dónde? Por ahí para allá andando, pero no fue nada. Eric and I, as business partners, agree on some fundamental ideologies in the way that we do things. And one of those fundamentals is that we really want to promote the sport.
It's been an adventure. When I started paramotoring, I thought, you know, aerobatics are possible, but it's never really been done in the U.S. in a show format.
In the U.S., The ratio of pilots to population is very low compared to Europe. We don't know why. We're trying to figure it out. And we think that doing things like this, where we can really promote the sport, we do everything in a very positive manner to get the word out there.
We pitched it to the Oshkosh staff, and you know, I took my time. I took a couple of years to think through what exactly I wanted to say, how we wanted to do it, and then we had the opportunity, thanks to John, to really sit down with Wayne Boggs and Dennis Dunbar, the two heads of the Airshow, and say, here's what we want to do. Do you think we're crazy?
The Thunderbirds, the Snowbirds, like they all request Wayne, so he's like top dog. And we were fortunate enough to have Wayne and Dennis in the same room at the same time, and I was like, hey, so this is my friend Eric, like he has this idea, Eric, like take it. And Wayne was like, I found him first. Dennis is like, I found him first. I was like, well, actually, like I found him first.
All right, well, good afternoon, guys.
Good afternoon.
My name's Eric.
Hi.
We have a heck of a week. All right, so that said, just so you guys have the basic idea of schedule, we'll fly sunrise. We'll probably go to the airport 20 minutes pre-sunrise and be there, set up, ready to launch before sunrise. There's going to be a lot of FAA people there, and we have the opportunity to make this idea of ultralight aerobatics a reality or to destroy it forever. We can blow it. I mean, and plus, if you get hurt, talk about the instant blow. I mean, if we have an incident where we're riding a reserve, no big deal. That's one of the great things about our sport is we have this opportunity. But if we're having an incident where we impact the crowd or we impact the ground, we are done.
Since we live in the area, I have been to Oshkosh nearly every year of my life. It's incredible now to be able to perform in that show. It's a very surreal feeling that I'm going to be one of the pilots up there that's performing.
My first time to fly here is a little nervous because it's my first time to fly with paramotor in use.
We can go play on the swing.
Every show is a little bit different because you need to fly with different pilots, but it was a nice feeling because I think that we had a good connection between us.
No, you chicken!
We got it, man.
Woo!
Get rid of that.
Oh, no. I don't try.
I'm really excited to be training with the whole team. This week's going to be a ton of fun, just hanging out with everybody and learning from each other, be better pilots. That's what I'm most excited about.
Yeah, you wanted it.
Good job. Oh, man.
So our first full day of training, we actually had a day in between because of weather, but our first full day of training, we were all super, super excited. It's 5:15 in the morning, and as we descend off the hill on this ridge where we're staying, we start hitting fog, and you can just sense the dread come over every one of the pilots. We're all just at this moment, we're like, oh God, please, no. And we get to the field, and as we've been progressing this 10 or 15 miles to the field, it gets worse and worse and worse and worse. it literally 20, 30 feet away is whiteout. You can't see a thing. So we just sat there and we're like, well, do we go back up on the ridge? Do we try to find another site to fly from? What's our best bet in this situation?
39er Zulu. Wind calm. Visibility 7.
Better?
Sky
No, it's
conditions
better there.
200.
Scattered to 200 though.
18 Celsius. Dew point 17 Celsius. Altimeter 3010. Remark.
Scattered at 200 is not really good for us. It's not ideal at all. Not for today. All right, so our plan for the morning. What I'd like to see happen, ideally, is all of us kind of get a glimpse or an idea of what the pacing is going to be like, what the time to climb is for these guys, what the pacing of our launch is, and then when we call them to go, say, now I'm going to get the show, and then the pacing of our climb up, how many wingovers we can do in between. If you guys are going to be doing wingovers, barrel rolls, loops, sats, I want to know what you want to do and how you want to do it, what works best for you. So really today is going to be more about trying to figure out where you guys fit in and how you feel about it. Also learning two other things. One is spacing between each other and spacing on the ground to make sure that we're stay out of the clear area. Go. Beautiful, guys. I want you to roll out of your last one and set up for pylons. Very nice. Got fire going on the right. Good sink. Very nice. That's perfect. And rolling left. Perfect. Red team. Okay, green team, 1 minute. 1 minute. When they clear the altitude you're at, go ahead and turn toward the center of the field as soon as they clear the altitude you're at. In this situation right here is where I want you to start thinking about crowd lines. We have to tell them to bail out of it because of crowd lines, because he's getting close. Yeah. Crowd line, red one. All your turns have to be away from the field. Good. Feel, guys, wind is directly this way. Wind is directly to the north. Wind is to the north. Yeah, that's what I wanted to see. All right, so great job, everybody. First try, that was awesome. First time is fun. The challenge we have is timing between acts. So basically what's happening there is the first launch, they go, they're climbing. We know that but basically at the air show it's gonna be slightly different. They aren't gonna be climbing and we're waiting for them. They're gonna be up and circling for 20 minutes before we even launch, all right? So Monday, John actually flew up to Appleton in the 172, which is one of the cool things we did was that we actually had John fly his family's Cessna. It made things a lot more convenient to have an airplane around. He flew over in the 172 to Appleton, picked up Alex. Alex shows up, he's got his motor, pulls it out of the airplane. We're ready for practice.
My name is Alex, I'm from France. I just arrived by a plane and I have another plane with John pick up me for come on the airfield here. And just when I arrive, I take an engine for fly and do the training with the other pilot. I love to fly because you are free, you fly in the sky with the bird, and this is very good. I'm excited and nervous because I don't want to make a mistake during the show, but I'm exciting because we will fly over a lot of people, and this is interesting to promote the paramotor sport over these people.
At the end of your synchro, you come back through the pylon. Through the middle.
Okay, done.
And then you break it off. You go that way, you go that way. And you do pylon. And then we say, red team, go.
Then we come out like this.
Come out like this, big wide, and then come back to center. And then on center heading, 3,
One's
2,
right.
1. Ones go right, twos go left. There you go, good.
Yep.
Just like that. So you'll go left every time.
Para gasolina también graba.
None of these guys have ever flown together aside from this one fun cross country, and it went surprisingly well. Like, we walked through it.
We had this preconceived idea of how it should go. We started out with a fun flight just to get everybody in the air together.
There were some timing mishaps. There were some issues with people moving into each other's boxes at first as they started just gelling out this idea of the synchronized aerobatics.
And then when we started the first practice, it was sort of a loose notion of what we expected to happen.
To literally in 2 or 3 flights, but at the point where I was confident in saying, okay, this is going to be doable. It was taking all these years of expectation and hope, and literally in one moment, it was like, we can do this. All right, so this is the wing. My plan had been, let's see here, make this here, and this here. That's what I was thinking. But
Yeah, I think like this you can see better for the picture and for everything. Huh? But it depends of you want. If you want to use all the glider or the middle of the glider. Or
well, if we do it on the
this.
wing, if we do it on one wing
Because
side, when we're flying, they'll see the logos more from the audience. So like this.
Yeah. Okay. Decided.
Okay.
Okay.
Good feedback. Thank you.
Nah, don't worry, man.
If we can't fly, we've got to be walking. We've got to be out here making sure that we're still constantly practicing, because otherwise it's wasted time. We don't have time to waste. And part 2 is to practice different launch areas. So if we have wind from what direction, which ways we're going to go around the pylons. We're going to practice it from 4 directions, okay? Make sense?
All right, so Malagitas is up at 3,000 feet and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1,
Synchronized left turn.
Synchronized left. That makes sense to everybody? That's the hardest, that's gonna be the hardest way. With the wind away from the crowd, coming toward the crowd, that's the hardest thing for us because it means we have this skidding landing, right?
Alligators, 30 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, ready to launch. Malaguitas, 30 seconds.
And I gotta say too, probably my favorite moment was the night that we had the thunderstorms. And we were all out there walking the lines. We're walking this, and it's dumping rain, and to the point where everyone just said, screw it, I'll run inside. It's so neat to see the dedication that these guys are willing to put in and really work hard, because that gives me a lot of confidence in how they're gonna handle it, you know, actually at the show.
Okay. Get them on 143.4.
Frequency mode.
How do you?
Okay.
Well, you have to
just punch it in.
Just type in 1434.
Yeah.
00.
Everyone lining up to launch that way? I am, yeah. Hey, dude, you want to be right beside Ethan?
So overlaid on the runway, this is what it's going to look like. I haven't had your input on this yet.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a pretty tight box that we're going to have to work within. Okay.
This is where the crowd is here, guys.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the crowd line right here. Okay. This is our show center right here. This is where we're standing right now. It's going to be a lot tighter box. We aren't going to have as much room to work with. This area right here, you will not be able to overfly. You have to keep it within this. That's what we have to work with.
So for Alex and Tucker, what I'd recommend doing is let's try to make a plan, just a basic idea. What Doran and I did yesterday that worked really well was 1, 2, 3 is a barrel roll, 1 barrel roll, wing over, right? Solid pilots, 7:30, we're gonna start. These guys, 7:23, are gonna take off. So 8 minutes.
We're wing over, hold, the crowd is on your left, release, and then you'll come out and roll. So like 1 or 2 seconds after you face the crowd, you let it come back and roll.
Tucker, bring it in a little bit closer to show center, please. Remember the center is moved, Tucker.
They're still getting pushed south, or north rather, so let's mention that too. Look at this, it's perfect. Oh, heck yes. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I got goosebumps.
That was amazing. Absolutely perfect. Give yourself a hand. Seriously. Flawless, perfect stacks, perfect acro, perfect everything. We've got the show coming together. We've got all the guys just laughing uproariously. We actually going to shoot a whole bunch of guns today, which will be fun. And I just have to say, like, it's neat to see the family that's grown.
Oh. Do we have more?
Oh man! bottom are Alex's. Or 3 on the bottom.
Alex, those?
Yeah. And they're all close. I've done it many times.
We need you for Oshkosh. We got it for that. After the Oshkosh event.
I've done it many times.
Do it.
My legs got sore at first when I was first learning.
But it's too hard for this, no?
It's hard, yeah. I started doing it going downhill,
okay.
So I had a little more time.
But only are you doing in grass or also in the...
I did it one time on our hard floor, on our wood floor.
But
it's hard.
Do it again. Okay, we got it. One more, man. One more. We got it.
Super. Don't blow any launches, Adriel. I want to have some fun.
All right, green. Keep an eye on the Malaguitas. They are infinite. Green 2, start bringing it in the show center.
What's been really neat is watching how the consistency in the act has changed. Now we have everything dialed down to within a 15-second window.
4, 5, 6 runs in a row, and we see the timing just being, within seconds on each run.
Which before we were at 2 minutes of window, 2.5 minutes of flex time between, it might be 10 minutes, it might be 12 and a half, it might be 15. We have this massive window of time, and now we're every time within 15 seconds, and that's just incredible.
Just the stoke and the excitement. We're just really proud that it's come this far at this point, and really excited to put it in front of, 100,000 people next week. I'll call the break. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, break.
We have a short sleeve one coming too.
Oh, good. Just amazing,
I thought the one I saw was all yellow. No?
No. Well, so far I haven't found any to give away. All for our staff and Lopez!
Hey, Lopez.
Tucker.
Right here.
Huzzah!
Thanks, buddy.
How's everyone behind me? Mateos! Mateos!
Gracias. Nice.
Martin.
Got 2 of those.
Got 3 of those.
Looking perfect.
One like each, I want mine to small.
I'm gonna fix them.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wonderful. There we go.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah, man. Cheers.
Thanks for being part of the team. You guys are rock stars, seriously. I'm proud of you.
So, Airventure, or Oshkosh, is the world's largest air show, okay? There's really nothing like it in the world. So having said that, this is actually the best kind of aerial photo that I could find of the airport. This is runway 1836 right here, okay? This is looking north, okay? This is the main runway there. So you'll see a lot of arrivals and departures coming in on that runway, and that's actually where we're doing our air show act as well.
The year I met Eric, before I started any paramotor training, he happened to have a wing with him when I met him, and there's a little section where they set up hot air balloons for tethers, I guess, at Oshkosh. And I remember Eric started giving me a little introduction to kiting that day. And I got the wing up, started getting a feel for reverse kiting, and there was a nice breeze coming, so I turned around and Eric started pushing me, and I actually got in the air, and I could actually say I flew at Oshkosh, and I thought that was the coolest thing at the time.
This would be, I'd like to fly the kids
earlier. Formation, formation. Formation. Filming, formation. Go. Go.
You fly too slow.
Take a step, guys. Go, formation. Camera, no helping me.
All right, so let's just talk through this really quickly and give you guys some perspective of what the plans are. So right now, the expectation is that on Wednesday night, the last time I looked, the winds are going to be southwest. So we'll lay out on the other side of the runway, launching toward the center. The pylons are all going to be laid out. Basically, see where these lights are on the runway? Okay, on this side of the runway. Probably about 5 feet this side of those lights. This taxiway right here, this yellow line that goes across the runway, that's our center line, okay? The boxes will be on either side of this yellow line. This is what is dividing each of you guys from hitting each other, right? So when we're doing our acro, we want to have our box basically starting at the grass over here and the grass over here to the dot or the end of the pylons, to the dot or the end of the pylons, okay? That's where we're doing the acro. Make sense?
Yeah.
Cool? Yeah. Look at the stage! How cool is this?
Nice, man.
There's gonna be 500,000 people in that sunset right there on Wednesday.
Oh.
Beautiful. Yes!
I just kind of we just had to stop and step back and I wanted to just take it all in.
We are so thankful to everyone here. I am so excited to be here and I can't wait to do the next show.
We're all just kind of feeling a little jittery and super stoked, but definitely a little bit nervous.
Proud of you.
It's amazing. You have all plane or what you can see to fly here in the same place, and you cannot see all because it's too big.
So I've been coming to Oshkosh as long as I can remember. It's been a part of life. It's what you look forward to every year, just like Christmas or Thanksgiving.
It's incredible. I'm seeing a whole different side of the air show. Before, we'd always just be down at the ultralight section, talking with people there. And it's cool to be walking around and having these air show pilots stop you and say, I'm really excited to see your show.
Some people that do fly paramotors see us as promoting the sport on this main stage is super awesome.
I guess you could say we've kind of been the underdogs because it's just completely unexpected that we're here at all. We had to be not just as professional as an aircraft act, but even more so because we had something to prove. We have the youngest pilots at Airventure. I mean, Adriel's 20 years old, Doran's 18. We have our oldest pilots, Manu, at 25. I mean, goodness gracious, it's crazy to have pilots this young, period. And it's our very first air show. And we're on the biggest stage in the world. We're in front of 550,000 people live. And it's just, I mean, it's inspiring, it's terrifying. I don't think I've been that nervous since my wedding day, and that's saying something.
for you, camera.
So I'm jazzed about that. Then we've got these Paradigm Aerobatic team guys coming in, showing the diversity, some of the diversity that we have in EA. This first hour of the night show, ending with Airshow, I think really summarizes the diversity that we have here. We've got a low-cost way to get people excited about flying and all that. I know I'm talking more than I usually do, but I'm just super stoked about tonight.
Don't look right, don't do it, don't do nothing dumb. And remember, people are amazed the damn things fly anyway. So nobody needs to push. All right? No questions? You're done? See you on the freak.
I need to remind you, and more than ever, I need to remind you, 60%. If I see you ripping one as hard as Adriel did the last practice where he's a little too low to rip a barrel roll, if I see you pushing like Doran does when he's flying in the zone, I can't let that happen. I've got to see you guys take a big step back from that danger zone, okay? This is the #1 priority. We have to keep the crowd safe, we have to keep ourselves safe. So, everything we do, be proud, be strong, be smooth, and be reserved.
It's easy to get psyched out, amped up, 500,000 people watching you, the pressures, the time, the calls on the radio. I'm going to remind you guys of that on the radio tonight, to relax, enjoy, smile, take deep breaths.
The next 2 hours, that's your job. I want everyone to pre-flight each other's motor, don't pre-flight your own, okay?
So we all checked each other's motors to start with. Everybody checked over everybody else's motor. You could tell everybody's nerves were high, tensions were high.
Everybody have your wings, you get your motors. I say we go ahead and march out there. Matagitas can leave their stuff here. How's the weather looking? We're flying. Yeah?
The weather seems to be almost perfectly, and we have a good feeling between all the pilots, so it's going to be amazing.
All right, Paradigm, let's mount up. Go.
We all carried our motors out, and everybody, you could tell I was nervous, everybody was nervous. You could tell Eric was nervous, Travis was nervous, but he tried not to look like it. And we carried our motors all out to the front line, and everybody was like looking at us like, what on earth are they gonna do?
No, can you hear me? Okay, I can hear you. Okay, can you hear me better now? I just got it right by my mouth.
Got our motor set out in front of the line, and Eric let us pull up our wings and kite them a little bit, and that helped my nerves a lot, just to get it up there, feel it, because I felt like I hadn't flown in so long. I needed a little practice with the wing.
We walked out, laid our wings out, checked all the lines, and it was really interesting watching the crowd just like, what are they doing? What are they going to do with those? And no one had a clue.
Well, that looks fun, right?
Eventually, we get the word from Travis to warm up our motors, and right about at the same time, the battle starts happening, and there's huge explosions and people reenacting, getting shot.
Planes are flying by, there was smoke everywhere.
The smoke was all drifting right towards the crowd, and we were there with our little 2-cycle engines warming up our motors, and there's blanks being fired all around us. It was really kind of hilarious.
Eventually, they finish up, and the smoke is still kind of lingering over the field, and we're just hoping it blows out of the way so we can all see.
Think goodness the wind did not switch. I was sweating the whole time, worried the wind was just gonna, because we laid our wings out ahead of time, and I was just sure the wind was gonna switch and we wouldn't have time to rearrange everything. And it had switched just slightly, but it wasn't enough to make a difference.
Boeing Plaza, Boeing Plaza.
Then the F-18s are flying by, and it's kind of like this huge contrast of F-18s flying past with afterburners, and we're sitting here with our two-stroke engines getting ready to go, and the F-18 comes in and lands, just rolls past us, and as soon as they roll past, in the moment, just kind of everything starts flowing. We launch. Alex and I are right next to each other. Both of us had good launches with the nice little bit of wind we had.
And we cannot make a mistake or something, it's not possible.
Travis gave us the call and pulled my wing up, and it came up pretty crooked. Normally I would probably just bring it down and fail the launch, but I had to get it up, so I powered a little bit and stepped sideways, and I did get it up. It was a pretty sketchy launch.
And as instant my feet left the ground, it was like all the nerves went away. I was in the air, I was flying at Oshkosh, a smile came on my face, and I was like, let's do this, it's just like practice, and turned and through the pylons.
I am flying above the biggest festival in the world, and we cannot have a mistake.
1, 2, 3, and over the top he goes into the snow. Guys, I can hear you clap.
This was just amazing. In this moment, I was feeling like the king of the earth, no? Because I am totally sure almost nobody can have this opportunity.
Alex and I move into the center, and the timing actually worked perfectly for us. We got in position, Travis counted it down, and we start throwing wing overs.
And then I noticed that my mouth was like extremely dry. I didn't realize before I launched, but my nerves must have been high enough. My mouth was so dry I could barely even open it. And it was dry the rest of the flight. It hurt so bad.
I stacked up behind Ethan to go through the pylons together.
We do the photo pass. Everything's feeling super stable. Ethan had the speed perfect, spot on, so everyone was keeping up just fine. As soon as I see Ethan's on the ground, I let out my brakes, and I just hear the crowd roar. Even with the earmuffs on, I could hear them just going crazy.
And just the exhilaration and the joy after having pulled this off without any hitches was enormous. I think we all had a hard time sleeping that night.
What an opportunity. Thank you all to all you pilots who put up with these little buzzy thingies, especially Gum. Thank you. And it's been a great show. Thanks for having us.
One thing, the opportunity to watch those fine men and women there. They are, in my words, they are outstanding. You cannot believe they did everything perfect. That deserves a round of applause.
the following day, we had so many people come up to us and congratulate us. We even had the snowbirds team congratulate us, which was really incredible.
Everyone was giving us congratulations.
The people come back, oh, we saw you just yesterday evening, it's amazing show, congratulations, okay, thanks, it's a pleasure, it's only fly and fun.
So I can have one of these?
Yeah, here.
This one's for you. Where'd it go?
The engine is
Do the ropes, when you pack it up, do the strings ever get tangled up? I mean, is it a pain in the butt?
No, because all the lines are attached to
A lot of new people ask a question, oh, it's possible to fly with only paramotor just on your back with paraglider wing? Yes, it's possible, and people never saw that before.
Explain what I'm doing, land, swap wings, take off with a full aerobatic routine. And the same motor, all in 6 minutes. And it's super cool.
Hey, thanks guys, nice to meet you. Hey, rock.
See you later. Now it's just a fantastic show. All right, you guys have a nice time out here. Take care.
The way we can interact with people that a lot of these other performers can't really was really cool to be a part of that and interact with the fans.
It's like, okay, how do we perfect it? How do we make it better? What can we do to make this, like, to amplify this to the next level? Because we already knew that we needed lights, we needed pyro. For the night shows, we really have to do more there, but part of it was budget. You know, with just one sponsor, we just can't afford the $100,000 for filling wings with lights and having 5 more paramotors and all the things we'd love to do someday. But it's really been neat to see the transition between can we do this to how do we do it perfectly. So I think that as the next year progresses, I think we're going to see a real difference in the way we think about it and what we bring to the show next year. Like, we want to do 20 plus air shows. Our goal is 20 to 25 air shows next year. That's a huge push. But after ICAST, we'll see where we stand. After next summer's air shows and we get back to Oshkosh, I think we're going to have some really big surprises for the crowd, stuff that's never been seen ever, especially never been seen in a formation like this. And with aerobatics tied in, I think it's going to be insane. And we're going to have to start getting some wavered airspace to practice some late night stuff. And we're going to have to start getting some things involved that people would normally not expect to see fly. I think it's going to be pretty cool. I'm excited. I'm excited for the future. It's all out there, and the feedback we're receiving says that we have an air show that's got legs, that's going to last. And that's music to my ears. Can't wait to see how the sport progresses because of it.